Just tidying up lightly around some of my plants. Obviously some plants are almost done, but there are some that where the old ones are done, there's new plants coming up. So what I'm doing with these, those that don't have any, with the broad beans that don't have any pods on at all, I'm cutting it off because there's a brand new plant that's grown out from the bottom of it, so I've got a new chance of a harvest. Same with this one. This bit is finished producing, so I'm going to cut it off there because there's new plants there, so energy can go into what's left over there. Yeah, this one doesn't have new growth on it. This one has over there, so I've cut it off there, so there's two new bits of the plant there. That one over there has a new shoot coming up there, and when this one's pods are ripe, I'll cut it off so that this one can go. So hopefully extending the season a bit long. This one's done already and the new shoot is growing nicely, so hopefully a slightly more extended season. Here's another reason that you want your herbs and vegetables to go to flower. There's lovely little hoverflies everywhere. They're pollinators and they're pest control. And look at the beauty of those flowers. They're so pretty. Beautiful. And this is my lettuce inside of the hanging basket, shaded by the other plants around. Enough sun and kept away from the ground where the slugs could get to them. Last year we had no tomatoes really, not much, but this year, I mean, look at it. So I'm just trimming off. Ooh, look at this big clump here. Loads of them. I'll go around the other side. Look at that. Loads of them. So I've trimmed off all the growing tips now. I don't want any more fruit to form. I just want those to ripen before the season changes. So if they ripen, we're all good. I mean, we've got some newer ones that'll take a while longer once we harvest them. But that's fine, because once we harvest them, the energy will grow into ripening the later fruits. But that's fine. If they don't ripen, then I'll make some more green tomato chutney like I did last year, which came out absolutely lovely. We like it. These mung beans, oh my gosh, have they jumped up. So now I am beginning to thin them out by just hair trimming like a clump in the middle to leave some either side, and they're spreading out a bit more, giving room to flower and give us some mung beans. Because obviously this is totally the wrong way to grow your mung beans, because in videos I've watched where people do their like one plant there and so on, and then it's healed up, it's mounded up, and then the trench is watered, flood watered in between. And I have been flood watering in between the rows here, and they're loving it. Even though they don't like sitting in water, they do love a lot of water, but they're still going. And they're gonna drown out my rosemary there, so I've got to trim around there to thin them out a bit and give the others space to grow. But because I've grown them like this, and what I've noticed is the slugs don't like them. There's no slug damage on them at all. So is that a sign for me to say, well, I'm growing mung beans from now on? And the chickpeas seem to be fine as well. I'll show you them in a second too. Oh, look at that. And that, look, it's pointed right. It's a heritage one. What's it called? I can't remember. Gormanson heritage. Yeah, it's a heritage tomato. So Gormanson. That's lovely. Oh, that's the only clump on it. I mean, is there any more up there? Nope, that's the only clump. So not a very, I mean, if there were more, and there might be more on there, but they won't ripen for the end of the season. But this best one, this most beautiful one, I have to allow to ripen on the vine so that I can harvest the seeds from that. I'm not going to keep cuttings because Well, I might have to, because I don't know if it's all, it doesn't say whether it's hybrid or not. I'm presuming it's not because it's a heritage seed. But yeah, I'll keep some seed. The chickpeas look better than the ones I grew last year, so they're looking healthier. I need to keep on top of the watering and feeding. And finally, I took a male flower and pollinated this a few days ago, and it is starting to swell. So, I mean, there are bees. There have been bees around the flowers this morning, but I don't think they're getting in to the female flowers, because they seem to be staying closed longer than the male flowers are open. So I just opened the female flower and pollinated it with a male flower. And now we have a pumpkin, finally. Let's hope. I keep on top of the feeding, because pumpkins are hungry feeders. So I've got to stay on top of the feeding and the watering, because they need a lot of water to swell up. But you can see from the leaves, it needs feeding. So I need to get on top of that. I haven't really got any. The comfrey I have put in the bucket hasn't rotted down yet properly. So I'm going to have to buy some, and I don't like doing that. I don't have enough, and I don't have any ready compost in the compost bins yet. So I am going to have to go and buy some, because pumpkins, tomatoes, peppers, things like that, they're hungry feeders. Yep. Oh, and I have the one purple sprouting broccoli I thought was going to be no good. I left it just in case. And we are soon to get some purple sprouting broccoli. So I'll be very happy with that. And look at the beautiful seed heads of this. This was also purple sprouting broccoli, and they're beautiful seed heads. Really nice and lush. So I think I'm going to make sure I keep some for growing more for next year, and the rest for microgreens. Oh, this one's ready. It's dry, crispy. So I'll let them go all dry on the plant, and then they'll be ready. No pumpkins on this one at all yet. There you are. Oh, and here's the second flush of raspberries after I cut the first lot out that had fruited and gone woody, and I cut that out, and this is the late fruiting ones. So I get 2 harvests of raspberries a year. Runner beans. This is the runner bean that I grew from the bulb I found in the ground from last year's runner beans. And it has flowers on, but as you can tell, it's been demolished by slugs, so I might have to move it somewhere else for it to survive. Only 1 pod. Seriously, just 1 pod. But I'll keep the root going every year. See how many years a perennial runner bean lasts. Maybe it's a short-lived perennial of only a few years. Maybe I can keep it going for very many more years. We'll see. If anybody else knows how long you can keep a runner bean perennial, do let me know in the comment section underneath. Oh, these blackbirds. I love that they eat the snails, but goodness me, don't they make a mess. Right. That's the end. Oh, there's a fruit. We've got 3 fruit. 3 fruit in total on this one. Just as well, because we've got none on any of the others. Not even on this one. And that's hungry. That's definitely, because it's in a pot, it needs a lot more watering and feeding than the ones in the ground. And the apples, yeah, it's still looking corky, so we don't know what. Oh, they look nice though. Cooking apples there. Oh, lovely big ones over there. And these tomatoes, looking lovely. I've taken the cover off now for them to get the sun and to ripen. So those will be harvested first, and then these will be the last ones to be harvested. I think they'll take longer, obviously, to fill out. So stay on top of watering and feeding. That's the thing at this time of year. Oh, and the pepper. Oh my gosh, the pepper has finally got some flowers on. And there's a pepper starting to grow in that one there. So lots of flowers on the pepper. Hopeful for that one. So that one, I'll keep an eye on the weather, because I think long before the end of the month it might start getting a bit too cold at night, so that is going to have to move in the veranda for shelter. We'll see how we go. And these little plum tomatoes, they're really lovely. They won't be long to ripen. I think they're full to capacity. You see the little marbling of the veins inside. I think that is just ready to ripen now. It's as full as it's going to get. Starting to blush. My edible lupins. This is the only plant really that I've had any decent pods on. So I would make sure, I'm not going to eat these, I'm just going to let these dry and ripen properly so I can grow them better next year. The slugs love them. So I'm going to have to put them somewhere that I can protect them from slugs. There you are. That pepper, this is the pepper that damped off too much and it was starting to die, so I plucked it out of the pot, shoved it in the ground. I cut it off down there and it's got new shoots, so that one I might have to overwinter under cover. Hopefully it'll come back next year. And look at this cabbage, starting to heart up nicely in there. Don't know if you can see that the sun is directly on it. Oh my gosh, don't want to lift it. The large white butterflies have been around. I don't even remember what this plant is. If anybody knows, let me know. I can't remember. Anyway, oh, that's sweet potato. Yes, the sweet potato. As I've said in the earlier video, a dual purpose vegetable, because you've got the bulbs to harvest come late autumn, and you can harvest the older leaves for spinach and the younger leaves for salad. So you can eat the leaves and the bulb. But if you didn't know that before, you do now. Beetroot almost ready to go out. I cannot put them out till they're a bit bigger than that. The slugs will just destroy them in a night. My curly kale. Oh my days, the cabbage butterfly have been in here as well. Been trying to chase them off, but yeah. My curly kale. I want loads of curly kale. I can never have too much of that. My swede and my turnip swede, they've got to go out soon. Hopefully they'll mature enough to overwinter fine. These ones are about to flower as well. These are my chilies. Lettuce has gone to seed. No beans off, no pods off this one yet, but then this one, because it's been perennial and looking after itself, I think it is naturally selecting the best time for it to flower and fruit. So again, water and feed. The chard, that's the spinach that's been growing in here. A new one, I think. Oh, the grapes. Grapes are growing lovely. I did plant some salad, but I think it's just a bit too dry and hot in here for lettuce. But stay on top of watering and feeding. These potatoes are almost ready to come out. This fern will be rehomed in the autumn when it dies down into the space next to the fern under the wisteria. But it likes it here. Should I move it if it likes it there? Hopefully next year we'll get some fruit off the cranberries. Oh, and finally the everlasting sweet peas are flowering. They are very pretty, just like any sweet pea, but there's no scent. That's rather disappointing. I want scented ones. My lettuces, they're above Oxalis trifolium. There we go. I've always wanted one of these, and now I have them, and they're absolutely gorgeous. The camera doesn't show the actual color of it. It's much more intense than the camera shows. It's beautiful. And those pretty little flowers. Look at that. Oh, Mrs. Tweet still visits the nest daily, busily, with loads of live bugs in her mouth. So she's definitely feeding young. And yes, it's warm, too warm, so we've still got the fan on for her. There are things still growing. Who knows whether they'll do anything this year or might survive the winter for next year. It's a wing it garden.